you okay? I am
Hello,
now.
everybody.
Never be okay.
Giga's here today.
Yay!
Yay!
Also,
Feeling better, Giga?
go ahead because that was relevant. Giga?
Huh?
Are you feeling better?
Yeah.
Good.
Also, I apologize ahead of time. You guys can probably hear my fan.
No, see, given what you mentioned earlier, I would have thought that was partially also the wind.
No, the wind is over. Also, my headphones are being dumb. It's like, man, I get a second pair of headphones so that I can actually manage them enough that one side doesn't die. And I only use this pair of headphones for recording, and it's already fucking up.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's mostly if I turn my head. That's interesting. It's fine for the moment. If it gets annoying, then I'll switch to my normal pair, which for some reason is not fucking up. But also, I don't like using that for recording because the inline mic is like you can hear it clicking around, and that's not ideal. But yeah, so what Dark was referring to about the wind, yesterday we had a tornado warning that turned into a severe thunderstorm warning that involved 80-mile-per-hour winds and quote-unquote flying debris, and then it turned back into a tornado warning, and we had a hell of a thunderstorm.
Damn, that's scary shit.
Yeah, I was lightly concerned, but mostly just because I live on the third floor and half of my wall space is windows.
That is not good, especially in any kind of windstorm.
Mhm.
Weather-wise, I've been fine. We've just been having a heat wave the past couple days, and
Yeah, oh my god.
Same.
I think everywhere is having a heat wave. It is so fucking hot.
once it gets above 75, I stop functioning,
Yeah, same.
and it's been 90 today.
I would kill for some rain. This is fucking boiling up here.
Yeah, rain doesn't always mean colder.
No.
It does mean colder in the moment, though.
Not really.
It just gets muggy
But,
afterwards.
Yeah. But my mom is like the opposite of me. It'll be like 80 degrees and she'll still be wearing like a sweatshirt and you know?
No, that's just a nah. It's like
Yeah.
the sleeves come off at 60.
Alright, yeah, the headphone situation is annoying. Give me a minute to swap. Go ahead and keep talking
No
because
problem.
my viewers can still hear you. Wait. Yeah, I can. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and keep talking.
And I'm someone who it can be like 30 degrees and I'm like, I don't need to put a coat on. I'll be fine.
Exactly. That's shorts weather.
Yeah.
That's me only because I grew up in Canada.
You're immune to the cold up there. So the
We're
cold
not
actually gets
immune. We
serious.
hate it. We hate the cold too. We just deal with it.
Well, living in New York, I should be used to this extreme weather change being like down in the 50s one day, 90 the next. It always catches you off guard, and sometimes fans don't keep you cool.
Yeah, like, I have my fan blowing directly on me and I'm still uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's because all fans do is create a breeze. They don't actually cool anything down.
Yeah.
And technically, they even make it slightly hotter.
At least
because
behind
physics.
the fan. Yeah.
No, because even because they're still putting out energy into the air,
Okay.
and more energy means more heat.
Also, very
Yeah.
unprofessional YouTuber over here. I'm eating.
I don't know.
Phoenix,
That just adds to it. That just adds to it. Now we can title this mukbang.
It was like on the subject of weather though. It was snowing here as recently as last week.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, a couple
maritime weather.
a couple years ago, we did have snow all the way in May, and it was fucking ridiculous.
New York's definitely had that.
Thank God I don't live in Alberta because they have snow all the way until June.
Jeez.
Is
And also, it's funny that I say that, you know, I start getting miserable like around 75 degrees Fahrenheit. But that's not true in my hometown, which means it's a humidity thing.
that's like, I guarantee if like I was like in Arizona with dry heat, I would love it.
Because my hometown is in central Washington, and for anybody that doesn't know, there's mountains on the western side of Washington right next to the ocean. And past the mountains, it gets to be almost a desert in the central area of Washington. And that also means very continental weather patterns, which means dry, very hot in summer, very cold in winter, that type of thing. And I can handle it being like 100 degrees in my hometown. No problem, really. So, yeah, it's just a humidity problem for me.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be able to live in southern Ontario then because it's like 80 to 90 degrees in the summer with like 70 to 80% humidity if you're on the lake. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, I would hate that.
Yeah.
Never let anyone tell you that Canada is a frozen tundra because it very much is not.
Yeah, that just reminds me of this country stereotypes. Like, what do you mean Mexico isn't constantly covered by a sepia filter?
India's the same way. It's not covered by sepia.
And, like, it's just... India is probably the most diverse country in terms of everything. Geography, climate, people, languages.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, you know, in Western media, you see it just always depicted one way, basically. And it's like, come on.
And Africa is just 100% safari land.
Yeah.
I mean, also, as Boot mentioned a couple days ago, it doesn't matter where you are in South and Central America, it's Mexico.
Yep.
Oh.
I mean, I've seen a thing from I think it was a clip from Fox News, one of them, that like they were talking about Donald Trump cutting aid to so many Mexican countries, and it's like, wait,
I feel like that's like that level of gaffe is like par for the course for Fox News these days.
yeah,
I don't think it's gaff. It's just that their viewer base might actually be.
Oh no, gaffes can be intentional.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good point. And, like that seems like something Fox would do on purpose.
Yeah. Like, and for me, seeing stuff like that, it's like, I'm not even mad, I'm just disappointed.
Oh, that's always worse.
Yeah. Oh, also, Phoenix, I went back to rewatch an older Foxfire episode, and remember when we were talking about like the whole soul lock thing? I actually looked up the rules, and one, there is no rule about a soul link having opposite gender Pokemon. That's called a wedlock. That's a completely different thing. And two, the whole opposite types thing is an optional rule. You don't have to do that one.
Yeah, but when it comes to rules, rules are fun.
When I'm nuzlocking, I'm a fan of keep it simple, stupid.
As I create extremely complex Nuzlocke.
Yeah, exactly.
Good, extremely complex. I've been designing a Nuzlocke based off Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh god. Okay then.
I have no clue where I'm going with it, but it's like the concept was like, hey, that's neat.
I just roll a d20.
I put like Pokemon have to fit an archetype.
No,
I was
but
trying
like, but like, imagine a Nuzlocke where if a Pokemon dies, roll a d20, and if it's a nat 20, then it gets to live.
I might keep that. I might make that a rule. I like that actually. That's actually a great, better than my saving throw thing where Phoenix. Okay. I can take one Pokemon per Nuzlocke.
I'm going to interrupt with something a little stupid here, but Google says this is wrong because my locale is set to American English. Does anyone in America actually spell axe without the E anymore?
Okay, that's complicated and entirely related to Animorphs.
Okay.
There is a character in Animorphs whose name is Aximili, but it's shortened to Axe, and it's spelled like that. And I'm pretty sure that 99% of people who spell Axe like that are Animorphs fans.
It's just like...
I've never once seen it spelled like that.
I mean, I've seen it spelled like that in like very casual contexts, but never in anything even approaching serious.
Google fucking spell check is weird.
Yeah. Alright, I am done eating. I have like a bowl of ice next to me with a Mountain Dew Rise can in it because it's hot enough that like anything that's not in the fridge is uncomfortably warm.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's the gross kind of hot then.
Yeah.
Somehow through all this heat wave bullshit, the water that comes out of my tap is still somehow cold.
Yeah,
Freezing cold.
directly out of the tap, it's usually cold. But like, even if it's just sitting for 5 minutes, unless it was previously in the freezer, then it's gonna get too warm.
See, I don't really want to put my water bottle in the freezer because it's got a filter in it.
Yeah, I freeze my water bottle sometimes when I just want it to be cold quickly.
I do that. I've been doing that with. I have a tumbler glass, like for alcohol drinks and shit.
Yeah.
And I've been using it for iced coffee. I put it in the freezer for a half hour, and it's magic with iced coffee.
So a fun little, I guess you could call it hack that you can do with water bottles in the freezer.
Yeah.
Is only put like a little bit of water in and let it freeze, and put it in the freezer sideways.
Yeah.
Then let it freeze completely, so you just have ice in the water bottle just along the entire length.
Yeah.
Mom does that all the time.
One thing I might get my mom to do at some point, since we have an ice shaver now, is get her to just shave some straight up water ice that I can put in my water bottle.
Yeah. Nate, the issue with doing it that way for my water bottle is that it's one of those where you don't squeeze it or anything. It's like there's that straw tube thing that goes all the way to the bottom.
Oh yeah, that is a problem.
And that's not gonna be good.
My bottle's like that too.
I have a metal one, so if I put that in the freezer, it'll probably explode.
No, it won't.
Oh, it's metal.
Yeah,
it
no.
won't.
I'll just expanding ice and water and all that.
No, because like
when you do it that way, you're not filling it very far, so it's
Yeah.
not going to expand.
Yeah.
Good point.
Or it will expand, but
The
there's
thing is,
room
with
for it.
my water bottle, I don't need to worry about it being ever
It's
cold. When I
also
put,
generally mostly glass bottles that explode in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that happen once. It's terrifying. A big crash, go in the freezer, and everything's a mess.
Yeah.
But my water
I found that out
bottles.
the hard way one day when I stuck a Jones soda in the freezer.
Ooh, and you forgot about it.
Yep, I forgot about it for a day.
Oh dear.
I opened the freezer the next day, the cap had popped off, and the fucking bottle had exploded.
Yeah, and like I can't put my water bottle in the freezer either because one, it's too big, two, it has a straw, and three, the lid is weird. Because it's not a water bottle that you can just like go out and buy. It's like when my mom was in the hospital, they gave her this really big water bottle, and we just brought it home, and it's 1 liter.
I kind of have all three problems because I have a filtered Brita bottle.
Nice.
Is I have a straw that has a filter in it and a weird lid.
Mine's one of those metal within metal, so no matter what temperature stuff you put in it, it stays that temperature
thermos
for like a day. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much.
They're expensive as fuck.
I
But they're
have
great.
a thermos bottle somewhere. I never use it because, like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like under my sink, and I use it when I desperately need something to stay cold for a long period of time. But normally I don't.
I will shill my Brita bottle until the end of time because I don't have to unscrew it to get to the straw. I just have a button on the front that I push and it pops the lid off.
Wow.
Yeah, the thing is super convenient unless you need to freeze it. And it better be convenient because it cost me fucking $23.
Man.
Probably like $18 in the US, but because exchange rate sucks, we get dinged.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how much my bottle was. It was not as expensive as you would think, but it was still, you're paying that much for a water bottle kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But I saw it as an investment, and it's nice. Especially in the winter, I put hot tea in it. Oh, nice.
Nice.
Again, I don't think that would work with mine because the straw has a filter in it.
Absolutely not.
My dad, who is like utterly obsessed with water enhancers, like bald-faced asked me if he could put water enhancers in the water in these bottles, and I'm like, what do you think the answer to that question is?
It's a water enhancer.
Shit
Things like
Crystal
Mio.
Light. Yeah.
Oh, that stuff. I remember when that was a huge fad.
I love Mio.
I liked I did weird shit with it. I like mixed it with seltzer water and stuff.
See,
That's not
you
that
can like genuinely like that stuff, and then you can be my dad who refuses to drink water unless that stuff is in it.
Okay, to be fair, Amniel is like that too because she hates the taste of the local water.
That's fair. But I don't get my dad because we also have a filter on the tap, so the water doesn't taste bad. The water here is perfectly fine. It just tastes weird. It's not like we're talking California tap water or anything.
And the water where I live
Or
is
Flint, Michigan.
I was just about to say that.
the water where I live, like has a bunch of minerals in it. So I like the taste of hard water, but Amniel does not.
I think it's the same thing here. Just harder water. It's ultimately harmless, though.
Yeah, I mean, actually, hard water is kind of good for you. It's not good for your pipes, but it's good for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. All I know is my city was once going to bottle the water and sell it, but that got stopped because that would lose a lot of water for the people. Our water is like super good.
Yeah, if there's one big perk of living in Canada, it's that pretty much no matter where you go, bar a few places like native reserves and Elliott Lake, the water is usually really, really good.
Like spring, is it most of it spring fed?
Most of it's spring and undisturbed aquifer fed, yeah.
I love that shit.
But going back to like the water enhancers though, what I like to do with those is because I also just have some generic branded psyllium husk, the fiber, basically the same thing as Metamucil.
Mhm.
And so I'll just, and it's unflavored. So what I'll do is I'll grab one of the water bottles that isn't my big one, and just, water enhancer, psyllium husk. There you go.
I used to drink. I always just call them powders. I never called them
Well,
water enhancers.
I mean, they're not all powder.
Yeah.
Some are liquid. I know Mio. I had
the one that my
black
dad
Mio.
uses are liquid.
Yeah, I tend to just call them Crystal Light and Mio.
It's one of those things where it's just the name brand covers it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We only call
Frisbee.
them water enhancers because my dad is cheap and buys the store brand ones with water enhancers printed on them.
Yeah, because it's like Frisbee and Band-Aid.
Hmm. It's just universal. Everyone knows what it is.
Alternatively, Coke and Google.
Yeah.
Even though Google will cry to the heavens that you should not call just searching for something on the internet, Googling it.
Or Velcro.
Yeah.
That's a weird one.
So
I've
Velcro
never
is
been-
at genuine risk of losing their trademark
Wow. Like,
because people use it generically.
It's crazy. Like I never knew Velcro was an actual brand until recently.
okay, so
When I
I have
went
a
to buy
funny
Velcro
story
for our
about
project.
Velcro. Like, when I was in, I want to say, like, 3rd grade or something, our teacher took us to the computer lab and had us look at a web page and write a report about it, about the Velcro plants. And it was just a mildly trippy experience of, quote unquote, learning that Velcro comes from a plant. And it just kind of turned out to be the teacher was giving us a life lesson on how you can't trust the internet.
that's actually genius.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
But it stuck with me for, like, ever.
Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, wait, no, that's a Velcro doesn't come from a plant.
Yeah, it's like,
But yeah, like the Velcro company even has an official video that's a song about how you shouldn't say Velcro.
Also, we're going to call
Brands I can see eventually going down this road too include Tylenol, because who the fuck calls generic Tylenol ibuprofen?
I
That's
do.
common
A lot
in
of
the
people.
US.
I do.
A lot of people say ibuprofen.
I tend to call
It's shockingly not common here, though.
medications by their generic name. But yeah, it's like to the point where I can't usually remember offhand what the brand name is for this particular medication because there are a bunch of things that just do the same thing. And like I can never remember if ibuprofen is Tylenol or Advil or both.
It's both.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, Motrin. Throw Motrin in there too.
Yeah. But like I call
I don't know.
sertraline by its generic name instead of Zoloft, and I was taking it for a while.
Also, as I found out via the man, the myth, the legend, Nile Red, Tylenol and aspirin are actually related.
Also,
So Tylenol and aspirin share the same basic building block model, phenol.
Interesting. What the fuck? Is there-
And like phenol and phenol derivatives are extremely common in pharmaceuticals.
How do I do this stage? Near Light event in Arc Knights just came out with new stages, and they are hard. This event is hard.
Is it hard to drum up money, or is it hard for?
It's difficult. It is
money.
difficult to get through the stages.
Oh, are they needing extra cash for this quarter?
No,
Arc Knight.
it's
The difficulty of the game is hard.
Yes.
Oh.
Like I
I
don't.
was just making.
What?
Yeah, not all gotcha games are scum, thankfully.
Yeah, I've explained time and again that Arknights is not like that.
I was just making a joke because War Commander just had their monthly event wrap up yesterday. And it was the first 2 days of it was glorious. It was nice, it was challenging, it was fair. And then as Friday hits and they're going home for the weekend, they make it nearly impossible. And it just pissed the entire fan base off. And I rage quit halfway through.
Now, is this an American or North American gotcha?
It's not a gacha, it's a real-time strategy game online. And it's changed hands so many times, I don't know what country owns it now. It was California-based, United States owned, but I think they sold to a company in Sweden recently. And after since they sold to the Swedish company, it's been dog shit.
What is it like with the 2010s and suddenly Sweden becoming a major player in video games?
I can actually
Question.
explain that. That was the 2010s, like mid 2010s, was when THQ died and Nordic Games bought up all their properties.
Ah.
But I mean, even in the indie realm, Sweden is just like everywhere in video
Minecraft.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning.
And I'm just like,
ideas.
it just seems like the 2010s hit, and all of a sudden, just Sweden was everywhere in video games. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's like Minecraft.
Paradox Interactive, that's based in Sweden. Paradox Interactive being the developers behind EU4 and Hearts of Iron and games like that.
Like, I forget, did they publish the XCOM series?
No, that's 2K.
Huh. That's not a very 2K series, if I have to be honest.
I only know that because like I see it advertised on the Civ 6 launcher every time I use it.
I know it's the same developer as Civilization, though.
I'm so disoriented.
Ah.
I am in Minecraft and I'm building deep underground. And I don't know which way north is anymore, or not north, but which way the entrance is. Because I'm building a set piece for the series. And I have to remember which way I'll be coming into this location when the time comes.
Monster help.
Okay. I think we have some Pokemon stuff to talk about.
Really?
Do we?
Oh, yeah, home. Got that.
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing.
Pokemon, let's go home and sleep.
Have we heard anything about Pokemon Sleep?
I think I got
No.
canned. Like, there's been nothing, and I think it got canned. It's a shame.
Pokemon Sleep is sleeping.
Pokemon Sleep got put to sleep.
It might have at this point because I've seen games stuck in development hell. At least you get updates on them a once in a blue moon.
The worst
Pokemon
part
Sleep
is,
was-
the worst part is we didn't even know if Pokemon Sleep was a game or if it was a thing like Pokemon Home.
It was a game because you catch Pokemon based on how you slept. It was like one of those sleep tracking apps, I think. That goes to show you we have no information on this.
Oh, that was just
And then again, Square Enix made a huge song and dance about Kingdom Hearts 4, but apparently it just started development.
Oh god, who died that time?
Kingdom Hearts 4 is having events.
Yeah, it's been announced.
Oh yeah, Okay, yeah, I got confused. I thought you said Kingdom Hearts is having events.
Like, Square made a huge song and dance about Kingdom Hearts 4, but then we find out recently that it's only just started development.
I mean, all that gameplay they showed that looked super badass is all developmental gameplay?
Yeah, but like Sora's shoes though, they're wrong.
I don't care. I haven't played Kingdom Hearts before.
Shall we stay tuned to figure out whether Square gives Roxas a personality that's more than a plank of wood?
But like, isn't it actually relevant that he has no real personality, like story-wise?
I know, I just like memeing on Roxas.
He is literally a nobody. Spoilers.
Kingdom Hearts is fucking weird, man.
Like that actually genuinely counts as a spoiler, but like it's
I know.
a 20-year-old game, so who the fuck cares?
Kingdom Hearts. Whose plan is this anymore?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, dude, there's just gonna be that one person who's gonna comment raging, "Oh my god, you spoiled it for everybody!"
Kingdom Hearts, handshake emoji, Metal Gear Solid, making no sense and having your fans love you for it.
Yeah.
Elden Ring might actually fit into that right now.
Honestly, Soulsborne games in general kind of fit into that.
Yeah, like I
Different
just
kind of
finished,
not making much sense though.
like I just finished Elden Ring, and the big reveal about America and Radagon. It's like you could see George R.R. Martin really did have his hands in this.
But yeah, I feel like the Soulsborne games is just a different type of not making sense than Metal Gear Solid and Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, the Soulsborne games do it by being intentionally obtuse at every turn.
Yeah, and very
Like-
vague and letting you fill in the blanks.
And if you dig far enough, you will find answers.
Yeah. But
Kingdom Hearts and Metal Gear Solid try to have a legitimate, fully formed story, but none of it ends up making any sense.
okay, so and even then those are different. Like actually not really. It's just a Japanese guy trolling everybody for both of them, I think, now that I think about it.
Ah, yes, Hideo Kojima, master troll.
Yes.
Like, unironically. We're talking about the man who unironically put Vision mailed in his game.
Mm-hmm.
And when faced with the idea that Konami was forcing him out, shoved his name all over Metal Gear Solid 5 at every opportunity.
That's a good kind of pettiness. It's like, oh, okay then.
No, like I joke about it, but the man actually did do it. Every chapter in Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, has a credit sequence that lists Hideo Kojima's name like 10 times in a row.
That makes me happy. Konami did him dirty.
I mean, not just him.
Yeah, Konami does
Yeah,
a
they
lot
did
of things
pretty much
dirty.
everything that they couldn't turn into a soulless pachinko machine cash grab dirty.
Mm-hmm. I'm still shocked Yu-Gi-Oh's functioning the way it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my own thing to say about Yu-Gi-Oh! Doing things dirty, because there was a period of time, and they might still do it, I'm not sure, but they took down, like, every single fucking dueling simulator online.
I still think they do it.
What was
I
that?
still think they're.
Okay.
I still think they do that.
Probably,
Yeah.
but it's harder to do now because the main one, I believe, is Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, which is an entire program, not a website. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that was mostly just because they were coming out with Legacy of the Duelist, and they've recently come out with Master Duel, which are both basically just dueling sims.
Exactly.
But sometimes you want access to all of the cards for your dueling sim, and not only are the online dueling sims typically more updated than the official ones, but you don't have to find the card in some random pack.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's always been my problem with the official Magic the Gathering games, and why I generally just played Magic on Tabletop Sim.
That's why people play Pokemon Showdown instead of just going through the main games. Because
I was just about to bring that up.
yeah, you can do it pretty easily on the main games, but not only did Dexit happen in Gen 8, but also, like, there's a lot more effort involved in what should just be a theory crafting type thing. When, like, you have to EV train the Pokemon, you have to get the right IVs, you have to do weird breeding shit to get the right egg moves. God, did I ever tell you guys about how much of a hassle it was to get head smash on an Arcan?
I'm aware.
For those who aren't, in Gen 5, I had an, I wanted to make a competitive Arcan. So I grabbed my, my Archeops until I bred a Jolly one, and ran across, that one Driftveil Drawbridge, gathering feathers, so that I could EV train it right away. And I did get all the feathers, but when I looked up the requirements for getting Head Smash onto Arcan, it is the stupidest. Like, I think I had to train up a Corsola so that I could get Head Smash on it, breed the Head Smash onto Relicanth, and then breed the Head Smash onto Arcan.
Pokemon. I've had competitive Pokemon where I had to do similar things. Like, I remember I had to get Smeargle to sketch a certain move so I could start a breed chain down to, and this is in Sun and Moon, down to able to get it onto the, I forgot what Pokemon it was. It was, I think it might have been either Garchomp or Mimikyu or something. Those were my two Proj competitives. And it was a long chain, and the only way you were able to sketch that Pokemon, because it wasn't a wild Pokemon, you had to have the Pokemon, hit one of the get into a double battle, and use the move and have Smeargle sketch your own Pokemon.
Yeah.
This is why people cheat.
Yeah, well, like, with Smeargle, at least it's in the largest egg group in Pokemon. So it has the best chance of getting some move that can be passed down to whatever Pokemon you want it to be, because Field has so many Pokemon in it that you can probably just you can probably just Digimon Cyber Sleuth your way to getting a certain move on a certain Pokemon.
Yeah.
And now I'm reminded of my breeding exploits in Gen 7, where I was actually breeding competitive Pokemon, and one of those Pokemon was Rockruff. And I had gotten to the point where I had two Lycanroc or two Rockruff or whatever that had 4 perfect IVs, and I just wanted a 5 IV with the off stat in special attack. I got 2 6 IV Rockruffs before I managed that.
Damn.
Yeah.
I can understand that pain, because when I was trying to shiny breed for a Sandygast, I ended up having a box full of perfect Sandyghasts.
Wow.
I never had got a shiny from breeding.
Hearing these stories really makes me thankful that I am a filthy casual and don't bother with that stuff usually.
Yeah.
And you better believe that I'm going to find some way to make breeding Pokemon worthwhile in Sardonyx. In fact, it is gonna already be kind of worthwhile in 2.9, except for the fact that the daycare won't exist until 4.0.
So I just want to mention that with how Pokemon is balanced and everything, I actually disagree with IVs as a concept.
Yeah, I think the idea behind it is that each Pokemon is an individual.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. I think it's time to retire that and use just the Pokemon Arceus system for IV, EV, whatever you want to call it.
Maybe, but I wonder if that's going to fuck up anything when it comes to converting IV-based stats to Legends-based stats.
No, I don't think
Ooh.
it would.
Because there is a degree of you could just reset it, but then you have the whole fact that people have put in a ton of work to getting perfect IVs, and to suddenly make it so that hard work is converted into something that you just fucking grind for is kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll actually find out soon, because once Pokemon Bank's open, we'll be able to see all the inner workings of the IV.
I'm going to assume that it either is a similar system to how they did the Gen 1 Virtual Console transferring, or it's just going to be randomized.
I don't think it'll be randomized. I think it might be like the Gen 1 thing.
Yeah. Because, what was it? The Gen 1 Virtual Console to Pokemon Bank, wasn't that, the level determined everything?
I think everything was set to level 5.
No, no, because I remember for a fact that whatever level the Pokemon was influenced the nature.
I think in the Pokemon Home.
Really? Did Home do that?
I think Pokemon Go to Pokemon...
Okay, well, I'm not talking about Pokemon Go. I'm talking about Gen 1 Virtual Console.
I was mistaken, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of don't want IVs to just be converted into the Legends whatever, because as a competitive breeder, yeah, that would be kind of a letdown to see my hard work just be reduced to feed Pokemon Rock.
Yeah.
What the fuck were they thinking with that one?
Oh.
Rock? What the fuck?
But yeah, my thing is that just the intention, like you said, was IVs would make every Pokemon an individual with their own unique stats, but because of course people min-max everything.
Yeah.
What do you know? It became just grinding for perfect IVs.
I will say, bottle caps were a good idea.
Oh yeah, 100% agree with that. I think we're going to see a mix of... I mean, they've been making everything trivialized since bottle caps, I guess you could even argue.
Okay, it's not trivialized, but they've made competitive much more accessible, and I agree with this decision.
That's what I meant by trivialized, but yeah, I agree with it too.
Yeah,
That's why I'm all
trivialized
for
is...
making things...
Okay, accessibility is not trivializing it, because you still have to put in some work, but they started with super training in Gen 6, and
I forgot about that. Was fun.
that was a good idea. It wasn't...
Yes, I love super training. Sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly hard, but it made competitive accessible at the very least, because you could get decent IVs. A lot of Pokemon were guaranteed to be 2 or 3 IV, and you could put in a decent amount of work to train up those Pokemon. And then they came out with bottle caps, and then that was great. And I think around... When was the ability capsule, Giga? I think that was Gen 6.
I'm pretty sure it was also Gen 6 sounds right.
Okay. Yeah, I think the ability capsule was probably Gen 6. That was a good idea. Ability patch, I'm not entirely clear on how that works. Is it just that it turns into the hidden ability, or does it switch between the normal and hidden?
I think it just go. I might go from hidden. I think it just works the same way as the ability capsule, just with hidden abilities. So the way whatever hit.
So it can swap between the two.
Yes.
Okay.
If it has a hidden ability.
Oh boy, that's gonna be interesting because there is the small fact that Gen 1 Machamp can get Fissure.
No. Oh, guard Fisher Machamp.
Yeah. Which I think is why I initially thought that maybe the ability patch can't go from hidden to normal.
I'm pretty sure it can. I'd have to test it, but that's a lot of grinding and Sword and Shield, and I don't want to play that game.
Or you could just look it up, you lazy idiot.
Oh, well, I could, yeah. I'll do that real quick. I'm already on Google looking at pyramids.
Why?
What?
Building a pyramid.
Minecraft.
Okay.
Come on. I put that together. Come on.
Meanwhile, I've just been listening to sheet music boss on loop all day.
I'm just autoing Arknights because I tried one of the new stages and it was just way too what the fuck, so I stopped and I'm grinding for sugar.
It only goes one way. If you
Okay.
use it on a hidden ability, it does nothing.
Okay. Giga, how do we want to approach that in Sardonyx? Do we want to be able to switch between the two and just have like the ability capsule switch between ability slot 1 and 2, no matter if it's normal or hidden?
Probably not.
Okay.
Interesting. You're able to actually breed down. If you use the ability patch, you can breed the hidden ability on its offspring too.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's always worked as far as hidden abilities go.
I was just thinking of the Ivies with the bottle caps, because if you do the max bottle caps thing, it doesn't breed down.
Okay, but that's like... I guess there would be nothing to compare it to, because you can't breed normal abilities down, because that's kind of the default.
Right.
But I kind of just assumed that it didn't have anything to do with making the ability act one way, whereas it's the other, which is the way that nature mints and bottle caps work.
Mm-hmm.
Also, nature mints.
I mean, I love how they've been making Pokemon, as you said, more accessible.
Yeah.
And like, I will never. That's a bad thing. That's why I think Scarlet and Violet is going to have some of the easiest to get into competitive play we've ever seen.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be difficult to beat Gen 8 because the Isle of Armor did actually introduce some really nice things, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I had a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Quality of life things they added.
Yeah. And now, okay,
for quality.
the one thing that I want them to do, as far as competitive goes, is make the actual values of the EVs and IVs visible.
Yes.
Instead of just ballparking it.
Wasn't there one game that did that?
Can you guys not talk over each other?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Phoenix.
Oh no, let him go.
You were talking first.
I don't mind.
Okay, fine.
I was gonna say, you mean the thing that pretty much every reasonable fan game has been doing for years?
Yep. There's
wasn't there an go ahead.
There's like action replay codes and stuff for it too.
Wasn't there one game that actually did show back numbers? And never went back to it?
Not main series, as far as I'm aware.
I want to say X and Y had a really good system for it, because if it was maxed out, if it had like a certain...
Yeah, every game since X and Y has at least had a marker for an IV is 31.
Like, I just, like you said, just give us the exact numbers.
Yeah,
it's so
like
much easier.
there's no harm in it. And it makes the EV training that much easier.
And enjoyable.
Yeah.
But it will confuse the poor young children.
Them kids. Let's face it, kids don't play competitive. Well, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
I've watched the world tournaments,
Yeah, kids play competitive.
and they're really good at it.
I mean, when you're a
Love
kid,
watching
Pokemon is
them.
your whole life.
Yeah.
For us adults, it's our whole.
Yeah.
For adults, it's our whole life if you're into certain parts of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Whether it's fan game dev, ROM hacking, competitive, and in some cases, like mixing and stuff.
Or all of the above.
But yeah, if you're in certain subsets of the Pokemon fandom, Pokemon is your whole life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But where with kids, if you're just generally a Pokemon fan, Pokemon is your whole life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, this is not related to Pokemon at all, but Phoenix, I would recommend getting ready to make that Protochroma video this weekend.
Yay!
By the time that this video comes out, spring will have already started, so I'm not too worried about revealing it ahead of time. It starts on the 15th,
All right. Okay, that does. Okay, when is the 15th?
Sunday, I think.
Sunday. Okay. I can easily record that after I record Minecraft.
Cool. I don't know if there's going to be any new breeds, but you can at least get your fill of the 3 that are already there.
Right. Springtime. Oh, that means more of those cool deer.
Yeah, Tealings.
Which is I've been trying to breed one extra so I could have the tan before the season is.
I don't think you're going to get it.
I got the ruby, but I couldn't get the tan.
Man, like during winter, I just grabbed one of each of the new creature. I grabbed a ruby and tan pair of the Arthan, and then I just hoarded Cithray.
I actually went all out for once and listened to you, and you're like, it's a creature collecting game. Start collecting.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah, you don't get hung up over getting like the rare stuff all the time, because even just collecting commons is a good idea.
Yeah, there's like some comments I really like.
Dude, I have over 400 Bitcherburns and Comet Chasers.
I've been collecting what are they? I have to go. Let me click on Protocol real quick.
I have
I
a lot
know
of gem stealers.
Okay, it's the Slum, the Selm.
Selm.
I've been collecting a lot of those. I really like those.
Yeah, I needed to grab a bunch for Lyrical Lineage I was doing, which is now done. Let me
Nice.
get out of this Arcmax Auto, and I will link you to my projects. Projects, rather.
You know, it's funny you say don't get hung up trying to find the rares. I found one of the super rares today.
Okay, there's that group. There's only 2 there right now, but whatever. But yeah, if you click on them and then go to their ancestry, you can see what I do on Protochroma. And on Dragon Cave, but mostly on Protochroma, because it doesn't have name exclusivity.
I love that one's a Starset song.
They're both Starset songs.
I know, but the one is I recognize immediately.
I mean, one is literally one of the most iconic lines in its respective song, and the other is just named Starset Infected.
I know. I know. How long did this actually take?
I mean, off and on it was quite a while. but mostly because like I started the infected one not intending to make it a lyrical, so I already had like a 4G, and then I had to rename everyone and then finish collecting all the wildcaughts and then finish breeding it. The Unbecoming lyrical was a pain in the ass because they refused to give me the last Selm that I needed,
Mhm.
which was one of the it was a 5G Selm. Like I think if you look at that Selm's parents, you just see like 3 or 4 snakes. Yeah, you see like 4 snakes in the offspring of the parents of the 5G Selm.
It's a cool little project. I
Oh
like that.
boy. My room just flashed with lightning outside.
Ooh.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind lightning.
Yeah, like I hear that, I'm just like, ooh, cool.
Yeah.
And thanks to my dad, I could have been a storm chaser at one point in time.
Oh.
Because he gave me an obsession with storms. But when it's close, you gotta respect that shit.
Yeah, it wasn't that
yeah.
close.
Okay. My mom hates it because when we get thunderstorms, we get them bad.
Honestly,
and my dumbass goes outside and sits and watches them until it's pouring.
Honestly, like yesterday, I was more concerned about the wind.
Yeah, that's I got some nasty stories about wind. Because we get tornadoes too here.
Yeah.
We've had tornadoes touch down here in where I live, and it wasn't a tornado that hit us; it was a wind shear, which can be destructive as tornadoes. It's just a blade of wind that goes straight across.
Wow.
It cut the tree in half and destroyed my neighbor's fence.
Ooh.
It was the most wild, and thankfully it didn't land on the car, the top of the tree. It got caught in the wires and took the wires down instead.
Oh God.
That was a wild storm.
Yeah, like a number of years ago, I was living in an apartment with what was left of my family, and we had a really bad windstorm one night that uprooted a tree, and that tree like knocked over some power lines, so we were without power for like 12 hours.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. I mean, the tree was like a block away, but like the way that power lines work.
Mm. I hate when the power goes out. I always hate it so much.
I mean, when the power goes out, I just get bored.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time to break out a book and read, kind of thing.
But how are you gonna read when you can't turn on the light?
Handles.
I literally do not have any handles.
I do. We have our power has gone out so much because of storms. We always keep candles on hand.
So like, I don't have candles, and even if I did, I don't have a lighter. And I can't do the electric stove incense trick that I do, because candles don't work that way.
Would have never have thought of that.
Yeah, so like, because I don't have a lighter, but I like incense, I just turn on one of my stove burners and press the tip of the incense against the burner, the coil, whatever, and just leave it there for a few seconds until the tip turns red. And
Cool.
incense.
Oh, I've never thought of something like that.
It's a nice little life hack if you don't smoke, so you don't have reason to have fire starters.
We no one smokes in my house anymore, but we have lighters still. This is the craziest thing. I own a Zippo lighter for no reason.
Hey, Zippos are cool.
Damn right they are. I bought it when we were in Boston on my senior trip. It was a yin yang Zippo lighter, and I had to get it because I had yin and yang on my class ring because of Pokemon Black and White.
You know, speaking of Zippo, can we just talk about the fact that Pokemon, at least in the English dub, named a Charmander after a lighter company?
Good point.
Like, what
That is,
message were they trying to send there? Like, what did they think that kids would get out of this?
Question.
Like, this was after the whole, smoking is cool phase that our parents were into.
Yeah.
That's way after.
Yeah.
I mean, no, Zippo has no other correlations except with the lighter company.
Let's see what else is on my docket. Also, yeah, did the YouTube layout change?
No.
Probably.
Like, go onto a
I-
video and just, like, look underneath it.
I haven't checked the desktop version in a bit. Let's see. Looks the same to me.
What's different for you?
Let me just navigate to video.
It's been the same as it is for me for a long time.
Hang on a sec.
Looks like I need to take the dogs out, so I'll be right back.
Yep.
Okay.
Come on, YouTube, load already. Why is Linkin Park suddenly uploading shit? Oh, deluxe version of Minutes of Midnight is out, I guess. Switch on. Let's get rectangle. Yeah, this part is new to me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
been around a while.
Not on my
I
end.
don't have that. I don't have that.
I've had that for a hot minute.
Yeah, like I've just started getting that today.
Damn YouTube and their staged rollouts.
Discord does that too.
Oh yeah,
No,
I never
that's
got the new
new to me.
Discord logo before they reverted it.
Wait, they reverted it?
Yeah, a while back they reverted it.
Huh. Didn't know that. I don't pay enough attention. Partly because I kind of replaced the home logo.
Man, on an unrelated note, I love the X classical piece but I failed music theory meme. This one, however, is legitimately really good.
Yeah, I kind of changed the Discord logo.
What?
If you look next to the server name there. In my screenshot.
Oh, that's cool.
It's animated. Give me a sec to
That's
actually
cool.
get to the thing. Yeah, one of the few things that I kept from Timber just because I like it so much. Or I kept every piece of art that I got from Timber, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's animated, but you kind of have to hover over it for a minute.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Among other things, is when I traced over the original icon to make a big version so I could put it on a jacket.
You have your own icon as on a jacket.
Yeah, you just go to like. I
Awesome.
think that's what it's
Oh,
called.
no, I'm saying that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's like I have that on the back and this on the front.
That's awesome.
I have a
I've
shirt
always
with that.
wanted
It's like,
to do that with my Phoenix, but it's we don't have many places around here that do stuff like that.
I mean, you can just do it online.
I know.
Spreadshirt, Uber prints. Also, like I have this sprite that I started doing and just never finished.
Trainer sprite.
No, it's just a pixel art thing.
Speaking of art, last week we had a cool idea bounce around, and you actually followed through with it.
Yeah. I only did Gumi though.
I did everything. I had my Gumi done when you posted yours, and I was like, huh, we went
I
for
am
a similar
back.
path.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I love that we both went with Pichu for Gumi.
I mean, it just kind of makes sense.
Uh-huh. And I don't know, like, I know you didn't make the other ones. I guarantee we would probably be going very different directions. Because when it gets to Gudra, I have a split evolution. Once I send these two pictures, I'll explain it. And get ready for the criticisms.
No boy.
I asked myself, if Hisuian Gudra is depressed because people are afraid of it,
It's not depressed, it's smiling.
well, it's still sad and hides in a shell. It has that lore to it.
But
where it
it's
needs social
smiling.
interaction.
I think it's just
When we
tired.
catch it. I asked myself, what happens if you completely isolate it? And that's the one with the shell. How long before depression turns to rage? And the only way to get that one would be evolve it at 0 friendship, which is hard to do.
I think that's
'Cause you'd have-
nearly impossible. I think it would just have to
have to-
be below a certain friendship threshold, not actually 0.
Oh, I know it wouldn't be 0. It'd have to be not once you catch it, because I want it to be. You'd have to abuse the Sliggoo for it to evolve.
Yeah. Because
as horrible
it
as that
doesn't
sounds.
matter what you do, a Pokemon's friendship will go up eventually, just by walking around.
I know.
So yeah, not at
So
0 friendship, but below like maybe 50.
Yeah, like low friendship, and the other one's max friendship, where it has no shell. It's broken out of its shell.
So it's Silvally.
But Serpentise.
Okay, the main thing is that I don't like how Sliggoo has 2 tails. Other than that,
I
love
went with
it.
2 tails. Umi has 2 tails. Sliggoo has 2 tails. Good Gudra has 2 tails.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it in particular, but yeah.
The reason why I went with the 2 tails is because the Pikachu Sea Slug actually has 2 tails.
Ah.
So I tried to capture that.
Let me go find mine for those who haven't seen it.
But I'm super happy with the shell. Because that shell was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that shell is nice.
Thank you. That was very...
It does look good.
I had to redraw it like 12 times because I was never happy with it because I wanted to have spikes on it. God, I love that thing. It's so cute. And see, you went with big eyes. I kept Gumi's tiny eyes, especially if it's near
I
blind.
tried the tiny eyes and it did not look right in my style.
It looks silly, but that's why I love it. Oh, I should post a shiny
I think
too.
the favorite part of mine is the cheeks.
Yes, they are really good. I'm starting to get more comfortable doing like custom shinies too,
Nice.
instead of just doing like these are all custom shinies, not thrown into a chroma thing. And I kind of went extra edgy for Bad Goodra.
Now,
Shiny.
speaking of Pokemon art and variants, do not say what this is out loud because it's kind of secret for now. And I don't really care about Cherrific being able to see it because he's not going to understand context. I made this thing.
Oh, I love it.
I needed to draw its evolved form, but like I just love how silly it looks.
I don't think it looks silly. I think it looks really good.
Well, the face looks silly.
Now, does it evolve into what it normally evolves into,
Yes.
or does it evolve into something else? Okay, so
Yes.
you're not pulling a regional evolution.
No.
I like it.
Same thing goes for this as far as like spoiler goes. Now this is actually one of the older variants that I just have not drawn because I haven't had a need to because it's not going to be in the game for a long time. But it's like I think it was either Nate or Amniel who just put the idea in my head for this variant, and I had to sketch it out immediately.
Speaking of this Pokemon, it needs more love.
Yeah,
It's one of my favorite Pokemon.
I love it. I never use it, but I love
Such
it.
a great concept.
I never.
I've used it many times. It's terrible.
I never use it, but I love it.
I
Like, it either needs
forget offhand, have you changed its stats at all? Like, in
Probably.
like normal?
I mean, I'd change the stats of all the variants except for one. Which
Yeah,
is
I'm not
my-
even talking about variant though. I'm talking about like, have you made it better?
I don't know. I
As
probably
it
should.
Yes.
Have I?
Yeah,
Let me check the
yeah,
spreadsheet.
definitely.
I'm gonna check the spreadsheet because if it's anywhere, it's there.
I love how we have to talk about it like this.
I think it makes it fun because it gives
Oh
you
yeah,
a
yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I'm just saying though that I love
I have
it.
not changed its stats. I will
Makes it like a
do that at some
powerhouse.
point.
I don't know what it is about that Pokemon, but I've always adored it since.
Oh, speaking of changing stats, I haven't put this in the game yet, but I think that Phoenix is just gonna like what I did. I'm probably going to increase it more.
Yes.
I am very likely to increase it more because all I did was bump up its stats by a few points each, except for
A few points,
attack.
huh?
yeah. I mean,
It's not a special attacker.
I did say like, with the exception of special attack, but yeah, like the most that its points went up is 11, and that's in speed.
That makes me happy.
I'll probably tweak it more later. I haven't made the changes in the game yet, though.
These are two Pokemon that we're talking about right now, especially not this one, but the one that middle one, I will say. It needs love. It either needs a new regional form, a Mega Evolution, or just an evolution.
The thing that I posted the stats for, I don't think is a spoiler. It's Firo, but
yeah, that's fair.
I'll at least make its BST 500. But that's going to be easier said than done because its attack and speed are already kind of high.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Giga's what?
Okay, Giga, this is where developer bias comes in because it makes sense for what is basically the signature Pokemon of one of the team members to have increased stats. Look at what I did to Absol. Look at what I did to Absol.
Absol, now able to rival Arceus.
I wish.
Unironically, probably.
It's 5'10", but like, hang on.
Reminder that Spinda is exactly half as strong as Arceus.
Yeah.
Crazy. Isn't that almost on par with legendary Pokemon 5'10"?
No, that's slightly below starter.
Oh, okay.
Starters are 530.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love bringing up that Spinda thing because it's like, you know, first of all, no, that's not how it works, but it's funny.
There is also this.
That's deserving.
Ooh.
That one's deserving.
Yeah.
Game Freak did that Pokemon dirty.
To be fair, look at the generation it's in.
Okay, I'm talking about when everybody was getting a Mega Evolution.
Okay, just saying that is also like revealing who this is. Flygon. Against Gamora had Artist Block.
Give it to Turner. Is he part of the team yet?
I don't know. Wait, no, yeah, he was because he designed Vanillite.
Give it to Turner then. He has some fucking great designs.
He does.
Not like most of my favorite Pokemon are shockingly his.
Yeah, like Turner has some excellent designs.
Oh yeah,
People meme on the ice cream cone, but I think it's cute.
that's adorable.
I'd say more people meme on the trash bags.
Yeah, is that a Turner Pokemon? I
That's
think
funny.
it is.
I might
Also,
be.
thought I'd mention starters have 530 except Swampert.
What is Swampert?
Swampert have.
535.
Oh, I'm not counting like small deviations like that because it's still in the 530 range. Also, this.
Yeah, I only mentioned that because I looked up what Magnezone has and it's the same.
Isn't that normally that stats for that?
No. Normally it's stats are the top row.
Yeah.
Ion Sensor.
Oh, that's impressive.
100
for that
across the
Pokemon.
board.
Yeah, I mean,
The
why not?
most-
In lore-wise, that Pokemon should have high stats.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like, I'm not
Game Freak
complaining
doing
about the stats. I just find it amusing that this is like the most consistent Pokemon stat-wise I have seen in this batch.
I mean, it makes
It should be.
sense.
does. I agree with that one.
Let's see, what else can I meme at you?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Similar case to Flygon. I said it Haxorus as a pseudo.
It's not?
No, it's not. It's BSC pseudo.
Oh. I thought it was Gen 5 was one of those gens that have two pseudos.
Nope.
I always considered Hax or pseudo. Wow.
It is not a pseudo. Although its attack stat would probably tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
That's where I was going with.
For those who don't
Oh,
know,
those stats are terrifying.
yeah. For those who don't know, Haxorus's base attack stat is 147, which goes into a maximum of like 435 or something like that. But it only has a 540 BST.
It's like Game Freak makes such great designs and then just does them dirty stat-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like this sort of like stat like shit is why I will always shield Magnezone because Magnezone has great stats.
I also kind of memed a little bit because I designed megas for Stantler and Girafarig, but their base stats are so low, I had to do something with them, and I just kind of made them counterparts for some reason.
I mean, it makes sense that they're counterparts to me.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Like, wasn't Stantler originally the counterpart to something stupid?
I don't know.
I thought
don't
Stantler
think
would just
so.
be a piece of pain in the ass in Gen 2.
It's like Stantler and Girafarig feel like their counterparts because Stantler really should be normal psychic by default, not having to evolve into Weird Air. And
Yeah.
Girafarig should be dark psychic.
I agree.
And Mega Girafarig is terrifying. So I don't
I
know
think it's safe
what,
to say 90% of the megas you've created are terrifying.
but just by the basic design, because with megas, I either make them look really fucking cool or make them look really fucking terrifying, and that is the case for Mega Girafarig and the last Mega that I designed, which is currently a spoiler.
I think it's safe to say that no matter which way you go, terrifying, they always look badass.
Thank you. Let me just go grab the spoiler one.
So let's see here. Stantler was version exclusive in the Sinnoh games, so Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, and the remakes.
I don't find that terrifying. I find that very beautiful.
Mhm.
I mean, it's both.
Love how you actually create a Pokemon. What it's based off of.
Yeah. I've had this idea in my head for so long. Then one day I just decided I wanted to do it. But the animal that this thing has such stupid anatomy.
Telling me.
Like, Nate was just spamming reference pictures for me in this channel, and
Yes.
we just kind of had this joke about how people who come in after the fact are going to be so confused why there's all these pictures of this one animal doing weird poses.
I was the one who questioned it. Oh, son of a bitch.
I cannot figure out what Pokemon Stantler is intended to be a counterpart to in the Sinnoh games.
Show me a screenshot of the version exclusives.
It's long. Hold on. Let me zoom out. Oh god, there's no way to zoom out all the way.
Okay, then just link me.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me get the link to the.
Well, so I'm sorry to my viewers who are just looking at character in Arcanines right now.
If you're watching my perspective, you're getting spoilers.
Spoilers for your Minecraft stuff.
Minecraft stairs. Yeah.
I was like, you're not recording Discord, are you?
God no.
Oh, going to Bulbapedia just
Kecleon. I think it's Kecleon.
probably going to Bulbapedia just reminded me. Like BDSP has overtaken Oras in the most bought Pokemon remake.
Wow.
Interesting. Well, to be fair, it was the most anticipated.
No, I would
Make
say that
up
Oras
for
was more anticipated.
Yeah.
For a win, though.
What?
And the meme, Gen 4 win.
Hmm.
Gen 4 remakes win.
No, but there was a bigger meme in Hoenn confirmed.
Oh, yeah. Let's just hope, like, I can't believe I agree with, Merrick Serby with something.
Oh.
No more remakes.
Okay, can we at least stop at Gen 5 because Gen 5 is great.
Oh, you know what I want for Gen 5?
What?
This is going to sound crazy.
Oh,
Black and
Legends?
White 3.
No.
What?
Think about it. The potential.
No.
You know,
Black and White story is over.
So one thing I will say with the whole remakes thing is I feel like remakes should also include a re-exploration of the game.
Honestly, when it comes to the potential Gen 5 remakes, Gen 5 was good enough that honestly I would probably still enjoy it if it was given the BDSP treatment and was just an upgrade to 3D.
Mhm.
we say that now, but when will this? When do you think it'll be in Gen 9 or do you think it'll be in Gen 10?
Probably Gen 10.
The next Switch.
Yeah, probably. Or the next whatever Nintendo console. Because
Yeah.
Sorry.
because I still do follow the theory that remakes, or at least remakes in main series are every 2 gens.
Mhm.
Because, honestly, well, obviously it doesn't apply to Fire Red and Leaf Green, but that's because doing a Fire Red and Leaf Green, or doing a Red and Blue remake in Gen 2 would have been stupid.
The best part is it does fit the one console per remake thing.
But also, like, we did just have BDSP, and I don't think that we're going to be getting a Gen 5 remake in Gen 9 because it's too soon.
I think we'll see a Gen 5 Legends before we see a Gen 5 remake.
Honestly, I would like both because I want to see what the fucking canon original dragon is.
Exactly, same here. I want to see Kiram in his true form.
Although,
Another thing I'd like, speaking of that, something I want to see out of that is the whole, like, investigating the whole Old King story.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Let us see the twins story finally.
Yo, Gen Kalos Legends game when we play as AZ.
Oh.
We're
It'll
working
be
on
another
it.
3,000 years before we get that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. You get to see the construction of the ultimate weapon or something like that.
Real talk, though, I love how that one line from X and Y became such a huge meme.
Mm-hmm. It's perfect. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be something out of complete left field.
Yeah.
It's either going to be that or out of left field. No in betweens.
There's been plenty of fan designs.
Hold on, I'm just going to type this.
I'm doing this. That is something that I don't want to stumble on.
Yeah.
I love how invariably in these podcasts, we just start resorting to showing each other things in chat that the viewers obviously can't see.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah.
And,
Spoilers.
like,
Have I shown this yet?
Back on an old topic for a second,
God.
following the theme of buffing, like, developer favorite Pokemon,
Yeah.
considering, other than Magnezone, Wailord is one of my favorites, the buff should be, like, giving him 200 health.
Just make his health equal to Blissey or something.
Because Wailord is one of those examples of a Pokemon where the other stats aren't bad, and then you look at, like, the other stats aren't very good, but then you look at one of them in particular, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's like Haxorus.
Because
Blissey's the
Wailord's
same
base
way, isn't it?
HP is 170.
Yeah, have I shown this yet?
I think you have.
I've
to me,
seen
at
it.
least. Yeah, you showed it to me at least.
I'm really proud of the detail on the thing that's on the left.
Yes.
Spoiler talk.
Yeah.
We're just talking in code now.
Yeah.
There's more spoiler talk that I want to show off just because there's a variant, or two variants rather, that Aaron drew. And we kind of just meme about it potentially getting revealed. But I'm not going to fully reveal this thing until people find it in-game in 3.0.
Mhm. That
It's
is-
2 images.
Oh, that.
Ooh.
Aaron actually designed the Prevo because I didn't know what to do with it.
I love the art for that.
Yeah,
Really cool.
yeah. It's gonna be found in like one area that people aren't going to think to explore thoroughly because it's just in some random cave.
Is it how rare? Like what percent chance?
Giga, were you making it 1 or 5?
5, I think.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair. I always hate 1% chance counters.
Dunsparce is fucking staying at 1% because I did not anticipate the amount of cheese.
Nothing wrong with some Gouda.
Does that have anything to do with me?
No, actually.
Okay.
It has everything to do with Phoenix and Terrific, I'm pretty sure.
Hey, you had to make such a good attack.
We have now downgraded it to being a fake up variant, thanks to you two.
I love it. Oh, I love that Pokemon.
Man,
for
this
that
sort of
reason.
stuff takes me back to my like early D&D days, where I got a spell nerfed just because the character I built abused the fuck out of it.
Wow.
It's not quite D&D, but when I was playing tabletop with Spot a couple of years ago, we were doing a campaign, and I made a character that had an attack pattern where they swung in a wide arc, and she made this spell called Excel, which doubles your turn basically.
Right.
So when you cast Excel, you get an extra action on your turn. What I would do is I would activate my ability that extended my range, then cast Excel and just swing in a circle over and over.
Man, Dark,
Doesn't
like,
sound broken at all.
Dark, I made a Tumblr account to reblog just like one D&D post I saw about, like someone basically reverse engineered some, I forget what it was. It was like some spell that had something to do with weather. It was like change weather, and they piled on a bunch of like effects and stuff to the point where it was just nuke city. The spell just became a citywide nuke spell,
Wow.
and the DM was pissed because that was all within the mechanics of base like 5e D&D.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds about right.
And it's one of those things that I'm sure it came about in a gradual way of, hey, can this spell do this? Sure. Another time, hey, can this spell do this? Yeah. Can this spell do this? Yeah. You know, just over and over until you combine them all and the DM goes, fuck.
What have I
Yeah,
created?
I love the ingenuity
Magic.
players have with D&D.
How many of us actually have played D&D?
Me.
Once or twice.
So like 3 of us.
I've had like a little bit of experience with it, but I wouldn't say I've actually like ever played like with a group in a campaign or anything
So,
like that.
like, I have some fun D&D stories. The main ones being Terry get out of the water, and we successfully seduced the flesh golem.
Oh, that
Oh
was
god.
What story do you want to hear first?
Yeah, morbid curiosity to flush golem.
So we had an illusionist on our team, and we were just going through some, like, keep or something, some dungeon, and we ran into, like, a horde of flesh golems, and we killed all but one of them, and then suddenly the illusionist is like, hey, can I cast a seduction spell? And the DM was like, it's a flesh golem? Yeah, but can I cast it? I don't see why not. And then she rolled a nat 20.
God.
Oh man, like that reminds me. That's like, if any of you have ever seen this like independent movie, that's a real Gamers 2 Darkness Rising moment. Is the barmaid hot? Bless you.
It was just like the funniest thing. And then the Terry get out of the water thing was we were going through like there's some weird tower of traps that some giants had set up, I guess. And on one of the levels, it was just fucking ocean. Yeah, there was like an entire ocean in this tower. And I was playing a character that happens to have the lightning version of Jason's fire explosion bow. So I told everyone to get out of the water, and most of them listened to me, but Terry was fucking stubborn and wanted to just like rush headlong into danger and do weird shit, like at one point trying to tell a white dragon that we were friends with a gold dragon, and that is a bad idea. But he wouldn't get out of the water, so I just kept arguing with him. Terry, if you don't get your characters out of the water, I am not responsible for what happens next. And of course, he wouldn't do it. He wanted to cast some bubble spell, whatever. He wanted to cast a water walking spell, which why, but so I just kind of like, okay, and my character fired the lightning arrow into the water, electrocuted all the fish and Terry's characters.
Man, one of my crowning like tabletop / D&D moments came at the end of the only campaign we've ever completed, my group. So we had this one boss and their granddaughter that wasn't really a boss but was still around to cause some issues. And it turns out that the granddaughter of the final boss had this one ability that does 10d12 damage to everything in a line in front of her.
Jesus.
But here's where it gets amazing. My character had an ability that had a 45% chance to block all damage.
Oh boy.
So I tell everyone else in the party to get the fuck behind me and take my chance. I succeeded.
Nice. There is another moment with I had a character who was a sorcerer, and she ran across this like stone orb thing that let her summon demons. And of course, I used that to great effect in a lot of the battles that we had. And to the point where the DM was just kind of going, yeah, maybe this was a little overpowered to give them. I'm going to nerf it somehow. So he like introduced something where I had to roll a really low chance to just not have my character corrupted by demons or whatever. And I succeeded. And he was like, well, that doesn't work.
On the opposite side of the spectrum, I have to preface this by saying the system me and my group use these days isn't exactly D&D anymore. It's a whole custom thing. But the same character that I just explained the whole shield thing for also kind of had a hard time with one of the earlier bosses because of the fact that we have dodge. So we were doing this whole fight with this boss that was the wielder of Excalibur on top of a train. The boss's gimmick was that every time,
You're cutting out.
Sorry. This boss's whole gimmick was that through Excalibur, he had charges he could blow to break out of CC. But before he could even get to doing that, somehow he managed to dodge my character's attacks 5 times in a row.
Wow.
So how we explained it happening in universe was, since there were people inside the train that we were fighting on top of, all they would see is just an imprint of a hammer in the ceiling and my character yelling, "Fuck, stand still!"
My dad actually had some good D&D stories.
I think I remember you talking. Wasn't there something about a guy with no face?
I think it was a girl.
Oh, right. Yes.
And yes. So, they had a fairly typical adventuring party where, you had a rogue, I can't remember if it was a sorcerer or wizard or what, and also a barbarian was in there too. And the barbarian was very scared of magic. And at one point they come across this cloak. And, the magic user identified it, and said that it changes you somehow. And so the rogue said, hey, I'll try it on then. So it, so she put it on and all of a sudden, like, her face started changing and stuff. Turns out it was a cloak that allowed you to actually make yourself look like anybody else. But, the barbarian of the group got freaked out by this. And so tore this thing off of her as it was, attuning to her and everything. Tore it to shreds and everything. And because it was still in the process of attuning to her, the DM made it to where it just removed her face.
Oh.
She no longer had a face. Like, to the point that in order to actually, feed her and everything, they actually had to cut out a mouth for her on.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No.
I don't remember like any of the like after effects other than that, like what the adventure turned out as. But yeah, that's something that my dad had to go with.
I have a couple more stories, but like I need to remember how one of them went. But the other one, I had a kobold character whose personality was essentially walking key, and like uh, I was getting tired of him, and I wanted to like bring in a new character who is actually the subject of the next story once I remember it. So I just kind of got really reckless with him, and at one point we were in a like wizard's tower castle thing, and there was a room that was just kind of like not walled off, but had a bead curtain, but it was heavy enough because of all the beads that I had to like roll for damage when I had my kobold just run in, and I failed the roll, so he took a ton of damage. And on the other side of the curtain were like 6 gnolls. So basically, this kobold ran into a curtain and died.
Oh man, that reminds me of
funny.
when I made back when I used to play Pathfinder. When I made a gunslinger who fucking somehow managed to roll a triple critical on himself and shoot himself with his own gun.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm remembering another one of my dad's stories. I think it was my dad's character had at one point made a pact with either demons or devils, because what do you know, they're different. But he had made a pact with some, and it basically turned his character into sort of this overpowered, godlike silver server type character. But at one point, the party got into a boss fight with a lost soul dragon. I don't know what color. But, they were fighting it and everything. And at one point, the dragon, surfer character, and I can't remember how many crits in a row this dragon rolled, but it was a lot. Like, to the point of, let's not even calculate the damage. You're dead.
Oh,
So the
yeah.
idea was just this dragon fucking squished him.
An absolute classic story that I need to tell is this is the same party with the character that broke the Excel spell. But at one point, the party was inside a mountain, and we'd stumbled upon a room in the cave full of like chests filled with magical items, because our druid / sorcerer had identified them as being full of magical items. So what does this absolute mad lad decide to do when he finds out that they're all magically locked? Throw a spell into the room and hope we don't all die. The DM actually said, yeah, I'm not going to calculate damage, you just fucking turn to dust.
Okay, so
Well,
like
is-
I have the story where Terry tries to tell a white dragon that we're friends with a gold dragon, but it's a long one. So are you guys prepared for this?
Sure.
Sure.
So like
Probably the last thing of the episode.
I kind of wanted to cover something else, but it's fine. But okay, so I had been sick the previous session, so I kind of like came back to find that we were fighting a Remoras, which is like a giant ice worm with fins. So like I was being strategic and I don't know, tried to get the archers to spread out to try to split its attention, but then it dies and explodes and damages all the melee characters who had gone up to attack it. And like after this, keeping in mind that a bunch of people are kind of wounded at the moment, we continue exploring, and one of Terry's characters finds a little alcove that, upon further inspection, its wall is a boulder being used as a door. So we open the entrance, and a voice shouts at us saying, "Oh, don't even bother coming in here. I know you're out there. I'm not doing it. Nope, I don't care how much gold he's giving me." Terry calls back, "Who are you? Why didn't you come out and fight us?" The voice replies, "You have no right to speak to me like that." Now, keep in mind, we're in a network of ice caves and tunnels going after frost giants, and we've had certain things hinted at us throughout the area. So the first thing I say is, I think we just found a dragon. After I mention this to Terry, the voice seems to change his mind and says, "You know what? Actually, go ahead and come in here. I know you're all out there, so come in. Maybe I won't eat you." Then a silver platter gets thrown at the wall. We can see, and the voice laughs. So naturally, I have everyone else stay behind. While I at this point, I have ported my main character Jason into D&D, and he can turn into a pseudo dragon. So he does that, and he heads inside, and it's an ancient white dragon, and we are level 10, and I don't want to fight it. So, the dragon notices Jason, and he becomes curious because there's a pseudo dragon in here. And a conversation ensues in which Jason is very carefully dancing around the dragon's ego to try to keep it from attacking. So eventually the dragon becomes bored and calls the rest of the party in, and so he magics up a table and beverages, which after rolling a few checks we can tell are not poisoned. So we cautiously accept. And he kind of looks over the party and comments on the fact that we have two pseudo dragons, because one of my characters had another one. I've lost my place already. But technically one, but Jason didn't change back, and that's probably the smart thing. The fact that my sorcerer can summon demons, the fact that we have a dwarf, and all that kind of stuff. At some point, the dragon's mate, which is a very old rather than ancient female white dragon, who doesn't seem to talk, appears and sits right in front of the entrance to block our escape. And so the dragon, the male one, with us at a disadvantage, tries to negotiate with us. They'll let us go in peace if we give him our treasure and magical items. But we quickly derail off that topic as we ask him how he got there, how long he's been there, his relationship with the Frost Giants, etc. And it turns out that the king of the Frost Giants considers the two dragons his pets. And obviously, the very old, egotistical dragons don't like that, right? So, most of the other characters kind of pick up on the fact that my character is being uncharacteristically nervous and take it as a sign that, one, Jason knows how to deal with dragons, and two, this is not a situation we want to fight in. At some point, Terry tries to ask the dragon if he knows the gold ally, and the DM just outright laughs as I have a minor panic attack and explain to Terry why telling a chromatic dragon we have a metallic dragon ally is a terrible idea.
Oh no.
It's almost done. We eventually get to the point where the dragon is willing to use collateral. We give him treasure, he lets us go, we come back with the Frost Giant King's head, and he gives us our treasure back. I can't remember offhand if white dragons keep their word or not, but at this point, Jason succeeds a spot check and notices a bad battle scar on the dragon's head. When we ask about it, it's revealed that it's an old wound to the head that impairs his memory, magic, and intelligence. So I get an idea. Dragons have a long memory for insults and grudges, so it stands to reason that the same follows for favors and gifts. So after some trying to figure out how to do this, because healing potions won't work, and our cleric knows the dragon's wound is beyond him, I realized Jason has a ring of 2 wishes. So after asking the DM how wish works, I basically wish for the scars to be fully healed as if they never existed, and to an extent that he is satisfied with our gift of goodwill. And obviously the dragon likes this. And in between me trying to convince Terry not to ask Frigid, the dragon, for a favor, he cuts her collateral to half the treasure we would have had, or would have had to give him, with the knowledge that we'd still get it back when the Frost Giant King was dead. And the DM even just told me after the session that that was very well handled and would become highly beneficial to us later. Although then we stopped playing D&D because that DM left. But TLDR, Dungeons & Dragons turned into Diplomacy and Dragons.
That's cool.
Yeah. The last story I told, I posted the meme I made as a result of it in voice context.
Sick. Just give me water.
I don't really have any crazy stories like that. I have something that's kind of funny and I don't know if the DM I was playing with, she's one of my best friends. I don't know if she regretted letting me pull it off or not. It was a Pokemon Dungeons and Dragons. It was sort of homebrew, sort of not. She had like this whole system made for it, and I had a Skorupi. We were in this gym where we had to do certain things to unlock the door.
Yeah.
Me and my partner, we got frustrated trying to figure out the puzzle. So we ended up turning a little chaotic, trying to figure out, could we burn the door down? Could we do this? I ended up picking the lock with Skorupi.
Nice.
And she was like, I never thought of that, but I'll allow it.
Oh man, I found another of my stories. So for those that know who this character is, I ported She-Ra into this D&D group as a replacement for my Walking King Kobold. And so She-Ra, for Phoenix's benefit, is my Argonian main character in Skyrim who also became like a Sarkiri in the Manaverse, which is the same race as Narita in Protochroma. And She-Ra, his whole thing is that I did actually port in like the whole shouting mechanic, but a bit like simplified. So in D&D, when his health gets below 16, he does like a fire breath shout, which does flame strike damage, which is 8d8 plus 3. So in this session, we start exploring that ice cave. This was obviously before the whole dragon thing. And after finding and defeating a group of Yetis, our monk and She-Ra go exploring some tunnels. So the monk runs into a group of 3 frost giants who start to chase him through the tunnels. She-Ra encounters a group of 4 who immediately bring him down to 16 HP, getting a crit on him that breaks his jaw so he can still breathe fire but not speak. He kills all 4 at once with 2 fire breaths, but the force of his attack causes a cave-in, which grazes him for 6 damage, bringing him to 10. Then one of the 3 giants chasing the monk notices She-Ra and approaches to attack him. After a failed intimidation check by the pseudo-dragon, for obvious reasons, She-Ra one-shots the giant with a fire breath, causing another cave-in, which hits for 14 damage, bringing him to negative form, rendering him unconscious. Because the pseudo-dragon is so small, he fits in a little space between She-Ra, the giant, and the chunks of ceiling, and only takes 1 damage. Because pseudo-dragons are telepathic, he starts calling to our cleric for help. While the rest of the party kills the remaining giants, the pseudo-dragon digs into She-Ra's pack and pours a healing potion down his throat, bringing him back up to 10. So She-Ra just kind of huddles under the giant and ice rock and everything else to keep warm because he's a reptile and his jaw is broken. And the party reaches a cave-in. And like after several minutes of trying to figure out how to get him out, I realized we do in fact have a transmute rock to mud spell, and end up using that. And that is the story of how She-Ra very nearly died, taking out 5 frost giants single-handedly.
Nice.
So this all gives me an idea.
Yeah.
How hard would it be for us to play D&D as a series?
Not terribly difficult.
Yeah, no, it'd be.
We
It
could
would
like
be
use roll 20.
wild. Like we have all the dice rolling shit with
Yeah.
card, don't we?
That actually requires a bot, but also we could just use roll 20.
Okay. So who would be the DM in this case?
I don't know.
Whoever comes up with a thing, you know. campaign.
I could easily come up with stories, but I've never done a DM. I would not know how to do that.
That said, question: what edition would we be going with? Because I'm only experienced in 3.5.
Whatever we're all comfortable. I wouldn't be able to say words because I don't know off the top of my head. I just go with whatever.
We could also do something like a homebrew Rollmaster type thing.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, we could. Might be easier for all of us.
Yeah.
It sounds like we got some great veterans in here and then complete noobs in here. Cough me.
Something.
Yeah, I'm not a complete noob when it comes to this. Like, between my dad's stories and what very little experience I have, as well as just cultural osmosis, you know?
I've had a little experience.
Something,
It's my
Euphora.
friends.
It's fucking turn.
Something you pour out fun.
Aw, come on, Giga.
Oh, yeah, come on, that would be fun.
I mean, I say that as the least experienced person here.
You pick it up quickly, and it's legitimately fun.
One thing I will say is that I am fucking awful when it comes to role playing in voice.
I don't speak in character when I do D&D. I just say my character says this, or he does this, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I don't like doing that.
I think it would have to depend on the character I'm playing.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm playing a human, I don't think I'm gonna voice him. I'll just do what Kalian said. But if I'm playing a different species that requires an accent, I'm gonna fucking ham it up.
Yeah.
My thing is that I'm incredibly nervous and self-conscious about sounding like a fucking moron.
Why? What? But that's half the fun.
Yeah.
It's only going on YouTube for like 5 people to watch.
Yeah. But yeah, like
That's the one series that makes us all blow up.
Giga.
Right.
Giga. What if D&D plot with Koth and Sundower as the main villains? Come on, like this would be unironically really fun. I get to throw dragons at people, and we basically get to reenact How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Hear me out. Sardonyx tabletop RPG. Like, as in, it's just a homebrew thing that we do, and we reveal certain things through the.
Oh my god.
Hold up.
So it's like a roleplay based on a game, based on a roleplay, based on a game.
That's a great idea.
No.
No, but like we could like reveal lore through the roleplay.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be the story of the game. It could be like an original story.
Yeah, it's just taking place in Altaris.
Or like we could do it like we could even reveal regional variants or shit through it.
Yes. I want to do this now. Oh my god.
I can't believe it.
Oh, this actually sounds really fun.
This is actually genuinely a great idea, Nate.
For anybody sticking around this long, this might not be a series for a while, because this seems like something that has to be built to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would have to figure it
This
out,
seems like-
and I would have to convince Giga to play ball.
Yes,
Seems like
convincing
something
Giga to play ball, otherwise known as one of the hardest things to do on planet Earth.
He listens to me sometimes.
Sometimes.
How did
I mean,
my
this
talk
would be
go over?
Can only one person at a time speak? Giga, what was that?
this would be something I would be very hesitant in being brought up.
And we don't have to reveal any story spoilers.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play Pokemon Tabletop either, Giga.
I
I
haven't
can
played
ask my
anything
friend if she can send me
non-custom.
the rules. She
I haven't
has
played
the whole
anything
system for it.
non-custom in
You two have
literal
a knack for
years.
speaking at the same time. I got the gist of it though. Yeah, like this genuinely sounds like a good idea.
This has a lot of potential.
It really does.
It could be like this weird combination of like D&D and ASB.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, ASB is a style of Pokemon role-playing called anime style battling. And
Okay.
the only thing that really sticks with me aside from the general rules, is the fact that Nate and I got into this meme battle where both Pokemon had attracted each other, and it was such a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna be a glorious series whenever it happens.
There were like entire turns where the Pokemon did nothing but stare longingly into each other's eyes.
One
I
last
think
D&D story for me for the road, though,
Okay.
is when I completely trivialized a boss mechanic just by standing still. Okay, so the story behind this was a boss encounter with 3 separate bosses in the same room. And as long as all 3 were alive in phase 2, there was a constant like tremor effect that had a chance of making you lose your next movement action if you were moving at the time. So what I did was before phase 2, I went and at the beginning of phase 2, I went and parked myself right in the middle of all 3 of the bosses, just so that they were just in range of my expanded attacks, and just kept spinning on the spot over and over.
So you did the Monster Hunter thing of the safest place is beneath the monster.
Basically, yes.
That's funny.
But one of the other players got so mad about this mechanic that they basically rage quit the entire campaign, even though I told them, dude, just stand still. The evil tremors can't affect you if you don't move.
I think this is a great place to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good.
That's a teaser and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you in like 2025.
Yeah.
When Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, by then we'll be too busy playing Elder Scrolls 6 to...
Yeah.
Assuming
Worried
that our
about-
computers can run it.
I play on Xbox.
Assuming your Xbox can run it.
Oh no, I'll have the Xbox Series X by then.
Oh,
I
no.
hope.
Here's the thing. Whatever Xbox will be available will probably run it better than PC, knowing Bethesda.
Yeah, fair.
Probably. If it's not a buggy mess, is it Elder Scrolls?
If it's not a buggy mess, is it a Bethesda game?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Like honestly, the least buggy Elder Scrolls game is ESO, and that's not even Bethesda.
It's not
ZeniMax.
it's not mainline Bethesda, no.
It's like if Nintendo put out a first-party Pokemon game without involving Game Freak.
Yeah.
Oh, man, can you imagine?
Does Nintendo actually do games by itself, or is it all like sub-companies?
It does,
A
because
Mario?
the
Okay.
Mario games, Zelda games, F-Zero, Pikmin are all internal Nintendo.
Okay.
Ah, yes, F-Zero, that one franchise that they like to pretend doesn't exist.
Except for when they randomly do something with it, just out of nowhere, and then forget about it for another 10 years.
Exactly.
Oh, with that, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
We're over 2 hours.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
This is a great session.
This was a great podcast.
By the way, it should speak volumes that the least buggy Fallout game is the one not made by Bethesda.
New Vegas?
Yep.
Also the best Fallout game.
I will take your word for that because I don't play Fallout.
New Vegas
Also-
is great.
As an idea for something we could homebrew on top of,
Oh boy.
there's this. It's a tabletop game called Monster of the Week. It's basically just like an alternative system to Dungeons and Dragons and Rollmaster and stuff like that. The idea of it being that, there's supernatural monsters that you and your party have to generally in a modern setting, and I think homebrewing on top of that might work.
Nate, what if we took that and homebrewed it into Digimon?
Oh,
Digimon Tamer suddenly.
oh my god, that would be amazing.
We'll see if any of this comes to fruition, guys.
Yeah.
Anyone want to close this out?
Oh, I didn't realize we were still recording.
I am.
Oh, yeah, I ended with the Fallout thing.
Oh. Well, okay. Guys, didn't tell me.
Good
So,
job.
so I guess that's exclusive, like 2 minutes on my end then.
Yep.
So, see you guys next week.
Bye.
Hi, everybody.